Welcome back to Buddy and the Boss, and I just got out of the watch house, and I'll explain that in a minute, but look what I get out to on the news here.
We don't have anything to add to the comments made by Director General Burgess last night at Senate estimates. He couldn't even condemn Australians mourning a terror leader, travelling halfway across the world to attend the funeral of a terror leader. Well, this is what a proper response looks like. This is from Shadow Home Affairs Minister James Paterson, who said Tony Burke should come out of hiding and do his job. If these Nasrallah funeral attendees were on visas, they should have already been cancelled to prevent them returning to Australia.
Correct.
He can use temporary exclusion orders to stop Australian citizens returning while they are investigated for associated with a listed terror organisation. But that would require him to put the national interest before his political interest, which he so far has been reluctant to do.
Correct.
Now, Jewish leader Alex
There's going to be more.
Spoke about the extent of Hezbollah support here in Australia when he was on with Chris Kenny earlier.
None of this is a surprise because we've seen for 16 months people walking in the streets of our major cities holding aloft the portraits of Hassan Nasrallah. We've seen mosques in Sydney holding ceremonies to honour Nasrallah.
Okay guys, you get the general idea of what's going on here now. I just spent one night in the watch house and I'll explain that a little bit later on, or maybe in another video, because I just want to touch on this little situation. Let me turn this down for a minute for you guys so I can talk to you. Right, so I've just come out of the watch house and I got back to my hotel here, and I switched on the news, and the first thing I see is something about the kids in our Australian schools learning all this Hezbollah, whatever the fuck language it is, the terrorist motherfuckers. Alright, so in our schools, not all schools, but the Sydney ones, you know what I mean. All these where all the fucking these cunts live, basically. They've infiltrated Sydney, and I can tell you now the Albosleezy government and Albosleezy himself is trying to get votes from that area. You just have to go look at the news. Now, I just turned on the news. Here it is. All these Australian cunts are going over there and supporting these terrorist motherfuckers who blow up our fucking countries or have ideas of blowing up our countries and ruining our culture. Like, just fucking stop their visas, leave them there without their families, and then just go and wipe out the whole fucking lot of these Hezbollah fucking Hamas fucking supporters and leaders. If there's any Hamas supporters here, or fucking all these supporters of these terrorist organisations, they should all just be flown over there for free. And then Mr. Trump, you should just come in and just drop them bombs all over the place. Wipe the fucking lot out. Okay, you're going to get some innocent civilians involved, but hey, guess what? That's called collateral damage. And Mr. Albosleezy, this is especially for you. Ever since you've been in office and when you were running for office, I noticed that you're a bit of a weasel. You're a bit of a flip coin. You're a bit like that game 2-Up. Remember the Australian game? World War II, they used to play 2-Up. I know, my grandfather was in the war. And I don't know what family members of yours have been to war. But if you grew up in a good family, I'm sure they didn't. But anyway, Mr. Albosleezy, that's you cunt of a Prime Minister. Yes, you're a cunt. You're a fuckwit, and you should be flown over there because you're supporting China and all these fucking terrorist motherfuckers just to get votes. Well, I'm sorry to say, you fuckwit, or I'm not sorry to say, but you're not going to be in this election, so stop trying hard to win votes with all these cunts and shipping them in. Now, the reason I'm going on about this, as opposed to the homeless crisis and all that, because that's what I deal with here on this channel, is because that's causing homeless crisis. Okay, you're letting all these fucking cunts in from other countries without vetting them properly, and you're giving them housing before you give us Australians fucking housing. Now, I'm actually doing a thing on the Department of Housing now. You can see from my past 2 videos. I just went through Link to Home. And I can tell you there's some corruption going on there, and people are getting evicted left, right and centre. They're putting all the wrong cunts into these buildings because they're not screen testing them enough. And then look, you're cutting the program without telling people, and you're still pumping people through these motels. I heard it's going to end in 2 months. So that's why I'm hitting on these Hezbollahians, right? And these Australian fucking jihad supporters and fucking whatnot, and all the schools out there teaching kids the fucking language before you teach them the Aussie fucking language, mathematics and science, generally what you need to get through life, right? Did you know, really, it's just us old school cunts, Gen X, that are pointing this out, because we are the last generation of the generation that fought in the wars for our security, safety and freedoms. Right, my grandfather, both of my grandfathers actually, to tell you the truth, from both sides of my family. And I can tell you another thing too. I want to point out this Aboriginal thing as well. And I'm not racist because I've got a lot of Aboriginal friends. And I used to call David Gulpilil my father, and he used to call me son until his passing. Bless his soul, God rest in peace. So look, there's another thing with this. Why is it always, when there's a protest, there's Aboriginal flags flowing, the Australian flag and this fucking Palestinian flag? But why are the Aboriginal and the Palestinian flags flying? Why isn't there a French flag? Why isn't there a European flag? Why isn't there hundreds of countries' flag if we're so multicultural? Listen, we've got a culture, right? And it's the Aussie culture, and the Aboriginal have their culture, and the Palestinians have theirs. Now, the Palestinians should stay in fucking Palestine, and people, including the Aboriginal people that support Palestine, should fly over there too and get bombs dropped on them, okay, as well. I don't give a fuck, right? Because this is what's happening. This is all over the news. There's heaps going on. Look, there's a political and look at this. Look, the news has gone nuts. But anyway, look, there's too much talk on the news and all this fucking bullshit about all these diverse races and all these fucking things happening. I say now that, and look here, Prime Minister, I haven't finished with you yet. I've got something for you. Why are you supporting China? And why are you supporting Hezbollah? What have they got on you that you don't want the Australian people to know? They've got something on you, and the people of Australia are getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and it's obvious we don't want you as a leader. It's obvious that you are not getting any fucking votes, nowhere near. You're going to be the lowest voted Prime Minister in Australian history. I will guarantee it. Mark my words. Everyone mark my words. You will have the lowest in Australian history. Now, we need Donald Trump here. We need to get the American president to look after the USA and Australia too. Okay, now just remember, Australia is a corporation under America. So Trump really does have the overhand here on Australia. And by God, I wish he would just come in, or we've got something like him. Our alternatives at the moment to pull Australia out of all this fucking Hezbollah, Palestinian, fucking jihad, fucking bullshit. We need to get someone like Pauline Hanson and what's his name, big millionaire oil magnate, fucking Australian dude. Anyway, so I think it's called the Trumpets and Patriots party. So we need to vote them in or get Peter Dutton in, because quite frankly, if anyone votes Labour, this country is going to turn into a civil war, because the Australians are getting poorer and the homeless aren't getting looked after, but all these cunts that don't even belong here are. And all the cunts that support them should also be flown over there. I don't care, military plane, put them on it, get them over there. Anyone that's already over there on Australian visas that are Australian too, even if you're Australian, I don't give two fucks. You should have, if you're going to do go to see the leader's funeral and all that sort of stuff, you should just have your visas cancelled. That is it. You're not coming back to Australia. I don't want you here, and neither does the rest of Australia, because Australia's Australia. And anyone that's with Gen X remembers the Kingswood country. Back then it was a comedy show. Now it's classed as racist. But you've got to think about that show. We're always putting ourselves down because of how stupid Ted Bullpit used to act and how dumb his wife was. Right? And that was showing you how slow and dumb the Australians are. I'm Australian, so I can take the piss out of myself. I'm not going to have a crack at it. And that's what Kingswood country was all about. But then slowly they drip all this shit in. And guess what? There's no more Australia. There's no more values and there's no more country. Look at all these weird fucking girls turned into guys and guys into girls and whatever you want to be. I could be a goldfish. I identify as a goldfish. So, does that stop me from getting arrested if I do a crime? Is your name Mr. Taylor? No. Oh, you're male? No, I identify as a stupid goldfish. Boop. So anyway, you get my point. Right, so when I go, I'm going to go back here a bit, but when I said they fly the Palestinian flags, the Aboriginal flags, and that sort of stuff, and let me get this, the rainbow flag. If you're over in Hezbollah or that country, they'd throw you off the fucking roof of the building. Quite seriously, they don't like that. They don't even look after their women there. So there's no women's rights in that. So what are they doing? Supporting these cunts that kill women and rape them and murder babies. You should just be flowing over there and killed yourself. Fucking die, you cunts. Right, so, and, so, look, now I hear also that white people, get this, white people, I'm native to this country, so am my grandfather. We fought for this country to protect it. Not me personally, but my granddads did. And now Australians, white people in particular, are not allowed to climb Mount Warning, where Mount Warning is not far from Byron Bay, where I grew up, where Captain Cook, that warned him of the fucking, so he wouldn't ram his ship onto fucking ground. And that's why it's Mount Warning. And so white people aren't allowed up there? Well, how do you figure that? I was born here. And I don't give two fucks. If I want to go up the top of Mount Warning, even after these stupid white man banning notices, I'm going the fuck up there. And I would say to everyone out there that wants to go and see Mount Warning, that's white, orange, blue, green, and black. I don't give a fuck. Go up and see Mount Warning. It's great. It's beautiful up there. I've never been there, but I've seen it on TV tonight. And that's where I'm getting my information from the fucking news, telling me this. What is going on in our fucking country where we're supporting all this shit, and people like me that are workers and obviously pretty educated in both fucking business and society and all sorts of fucking walks of life I've been in. And where the fuck is our country going? And why are we supporting all these other fucking bullshits, this diversity bullshit? Look, fucking straighten up a straight... Hey, look, Albosleezy, here. You may as well just fucking give up now, because you're not... No one likes you. Do you know how many people in Australia actually hate you? Like, you don't know, you're just using the news. Look how you defend China in our waters, doing live firing operations. Like, what the hell are you doing? As soon as they were on the edge of our waters, I would have been putting up our fucking military right up. I would have been putting a big fence of ships and helicopters and fucking submarines and whatever the fuck, all over that place. And I'd follow them all the way down the coastline. And I would certainly show them the force that we had. And to be quite honest, you know what they're doing, but you're not that smart. We've got underground power lines and stuff like that. They've got technology that knows where all our shit is, because that's what they're following. What happens when the power goes out? What are we going to do? Right, my point exactly. They're going to... Look, they can't get America because Trump's in. So now they say, oh, we'll just take Australia. We'll just take that. And just remember, they're friends with these Palestinian cunts. You see the connections? It's all happening here in Australia. Anyway, I'll keep this under 20 minutes because I don't want to bore you with jibber-jaw, but I just wanted to point that out here on Buddy and the Boss. Because I'm fighting the Department of Housing now, and what's going on, it's very hard to live. And what's just happened today, you're going to hear about in the next video I'm about to post, because I'm not going to do a long video to bore anyone. So always under 20 minutes here if we can, here on Buddy and the Boss, just to inform you, keep everyone informed. And that's just not my opinion, what I've been saying. Anyone that's got any normal brain, it's all over the news, they all agree with me too. Right, so any Aboriginal protesters that fly their flags with Palestine are just obviously poor people that rely on government benefits, and if they do have jobs, they're just trying to maintain their jobs because it's probably a government job, and they need the politicians to get the votes to keep them into a job. So they've got to corrupt our schooling system and all this sort of stuff, and trying to convert other people so they can keep the power of the left. Well, I'm here to say that I am on the right, and that is the right way to be. It only makes sense. If you're on the left, you've left everything behind, because you shouldn't be here. You should just fuck off. You're not Australian, and if you're fighting for all these groups, terrorists and sex change rights and all these fucking bullshit, you should all just be flown over on military fucking planes, just like Trump did. Dropped off with or without a parachute, doesn't matter, because at the end it's going to be the same result. Alright? I reckon it'd be just more fun to watch us fall out the plane, really. Wouldn't that be fun? Yes, that's what you think about killing Australians and Israelis, right? So it's a Trojan horse. Anyway, that's it. Just got out of the watch house. I'll do another video in 10 minutes. I'm going to cook a steak and get in contact with the universe, if you know what I mean. And then I'll do another video based on my events in the past 2 days. This is Buddy and the Boss, and stay strong, keep resilient, and I said that backwards, and never ever give up, because guess what? It's working for me, never giving up. See you in the next video. This is the Boss on Buddy and the Boss, and I'm out. I said that backwards too.